What's up, guys? Mr. Scope here again. Season's about to end in a few days, and I climbed my way to Diamond a few days ago. Uh, Depending on when this video came out, 'cause it was a few days ago. But I wanted to show you the decks I used to climb. So, starting off with Beef, which is probably the most meta deck at the moment. Everyone's playing it. Is it the best deck? No. Is it fun? Yeah. Definitely super strong. Um, it has some really good interactions with Priest of the Forgotten God and Cruxa, along with Luris being pretty much a free card. You don't have many ways to get him back. Maybe if you were to play in best of one, from what I experienced last night, I'd probably actually end up getting rid of the Myers Grass and the Tiamat, and maybe even the Fiend Artisan, to put in something like either a Kaya's Ghost form, either two Kaya's Ghost forms, or the Omen of the Dead. Both of those are really good. I'd probably actually just end up putting Omen of the Dead in, because then you go flash it in as soon as they target it. You know, two Omen of the Dead probably make this just a little bit better. Other than that, deck's really strong. Best of one not at the moment. In If you were to take this into a best of three, there is a sideboard which I don't have. It's a really strong deck. It'll climb through. Depending on what you see in the ladder, these are going to be the three decks that I recommend. This is the Fuck Uwu deck, which is a little bit of a variant on the Lucky Clover teamer build that's going on. Still really strong. Usually it comes down to Edgewall Innkeeper being able to chain, like you exile your cards, technically with adventures and stuff like that. So you have your cards have shit ton of draw with Edgewall Innkeeper, protection to protect your Innkeeper with Unsummon, or so you could bounce him back to your hand, or a threat. Bounce actually any of your creatures back to your hand just in case. The big difference is some people run more Skip to the Wilds. I put Skip to the Wilds in the sideboard. One of them in the sideboard. I play two Unsummons in the main board, along with having only one Great Henge. I think I saw a few people playing two. I also play a little bit more lands than everybody else. I think I play 28, 27, not 27, so never mind, we're on track there. My sideboard is where things get a little bit more different. Shadow Spear standard, 2 Ether Gust is, some people would like to run 3, I think 2 is fine. Fling, of course, that's in everyone's. Return to Nature, Domri's Ambush standard. Then it starts getting weird with Ashiok. This is, if you come up against a Luris matchup, this is just gonna fuck their day up. This is just gonna boop, exile graveyard, bye bye. Chromatic Lantern to cast some of my other. I want to play Gurik because he's just good, good beastie boy with a lot of the Planeswalker stuff going on. Chandra, of course, and then I thought I had, Narset. So if you ever run into a mono red match, you can use her plus to give you life and play some of your abilities, like your adventures and stuff like that. Because it's amazing to get Narset down with Chromatic Lantern, plus her, then draw a card, go into Brazen Borrower, bounce a few things, or like Bonecrusher Giant, bounce a few things. It's a really good deck. This is also probably just another one, depending on what you see. If you're seeing a lot of aggro, if you're seeing a lot of mono red, this is a pretty good deck. This is probably the best deck against mono red and blue white at the moment. So if you're seeing a lot of Uwu and red, this is the deck I'd probably swap to. Or if you're just seeing a lot of control in general, this is just a really good deck. Control and aggro. And then if you're seeing a lot of Luris and fucking aggro, this is another good deck. It's a control deck, mono white control. It's cheaper than the band control, because just one, it's the land restrictions, and plus you're not burning mythics to get Uro, the Titan. You do lose out on a little bit. You lose out on the crazy advantage of having Hydroid Crisis as a restock. Uh, you don't have Nissa, and you don't have Uro, which is just really good. But also, what makes you different from them is you are running, you have Ether Gust, you have Dovin's Veto, you have Absorbs. Usually they have to sacrifice that to play their bigger things. Plus, also, you're running Planar Cleansing, which I should be running one more, to be honest. I actually am gonna. Yeah, it's been a pain in the ass. Run one Dream Trawler and 3 Planar Cleansings. Personally, that's what I would do, because he's, yes, a great card, but Planar Cleansing would come in handy so many times with the way things are right now. Like, so you run into the Bant version. Usually it plays like enchantment removal, so you're fine with you have Planar Cleansing in your deck, so you just fucking beat their ass. I also don't have a sideboard for this deck because I don't really play best of 3 that much, but this deck is, its win cons are Dream Trawler, but mostly Castle Ardenvale. Castle Ardenvale, you're gonna get on the field, you're gonna control them out, and you're just gonna just create a shit ton of fucking little 1/1s, bring on the humans. There's nothing really much more to say about this deck. There's no really tips and tricks. It's a little bit more brain dead, where it's just you literally play curve, play broken cards, counter opponent stuff. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just beat him down. Out of all the decks, I think the most fun to play is probably Beef, but followed by Fuck a Woo, and then Fuck Magic is when you just really need to get the fuck out. You're having a bad time playing Magic. But also, if you ever just start getting into a stale period where you start losing games, either take a break or switch decks. And these are the 3 decks I would recommend playing. I know this isn't going to be as long of a video as the other one, but definitely, this is just, I want to show off the 3 decks that really carried me. There's a long ass VOD with it was like a 4-hour excursion, pretty much from a little bit longer, because I started off at Plat 4 and then I grinded with Beef all the way to, it was about I want to say an hour maybe to get to Plat 2, and then it started getting late, which was also another thing really important about grinding. It all depends on the time of day. Time of day really affects it, where it's if you play midday, anywhere, I'd say if you're out in the world 11 o'clock to 11 o'clock to, I want to say, 6, you're going to be playing up against a lot more, the pool's going to be big, so you're not going to be playing against those hardcore people that are playing late night to grind Magic, to really, the people that just want to play Magic because they just enjoy playing Magic. But I'm a sadist, and I started my run at 8 o'clock after that. I had a big early run for an hour from 7 to 8, and then all of a sudden I just started, I was like, oh, I'll record it and have proof that I made it to Diamond by myself. But I regret that. Let's see what the daily bundle is, or daily deal. Just some cosmetics. That's pretty good cosmetic though. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, and I hope these 3 decks, if you make them, season's gonna, like I said, about to end in a few days. Season starts over. If I had to recommend making one deck, I would recommend making Fuckawoo. That's the big thing. This deck is going to be, it's kind of expensive because you have one that's uncommon, rare, uncommon, mythic, rare, 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 uncommon, mythic. So that's rare. So yeah, there's a lot of rares and uncommons. I think it's 22. 22 rares and uncommons. 22 rares and mythics, which is not including lands. So this is not a budget deck. Like, this is not a deck you can budget. But if you can make it, it is a great deck. Also, you could probably get rid of, I think, get rid of Great Henge, right? And what's that enchantment? I think it just came out. Song of Creation. Right, you can play an additional land each turn. Wherever you cast a spell, draw 2 cards. At the beginning of your end step, discard your hand. Which is pretty spicy. I might even say play 2 of these. I might say even cut the Escape to the Wilds. That's exile. No, Escape to the Wilds has its purpose. You want to exile your cards. But this is just, yeah, play one of these instead of your Great Henges. Alright, that's the last edit. Alright, after that, thanks for watching, guys, and you guys have a good one. Bye.